So this episode wasn't really about me announcing that I stopped the Ironman, that I decided I wasn't going to do it. This episode is about showing you that at some point you have to stop trying to prove something and start building something. Hello, everybody, and welcome back or to the Built Not Given show. I am your host, Jake Strokel, and I'm a Northeast Georgia realtor. And to this episode is one that I've been putting off for a while now. I knew it was one that I was going to end up making, but I had to make the decision first. And that decision was I'm not doing the Ironman this summer. And if you're new here, I'll give you a little context. Last year, around July, end of July, I decided I was going to do Ironman Lake Placid up in New York, the Adirondack Mountains. And when I made the decision to do that, the reason behind it was I was curious and I wanted to discover the person I was going to become during the process. It wasn't about the physical feat. It was more about the mental feat and the mental challenge and building out that discipline. And now that it's come down to it, I'm 13 weeks away. I built out a 13-week plan, and I'll be honest, I pushed it off for a couple weeks, but I made the decision I just wasn't going to do it. It wasn't a random thing. Like I said, I was training. I was committed. I'm very passionate about it. I still want to do it. Um, but I took a step back and I did an audit of my life, my business, clients, growth, content with the podcast, and then life. Pretty much everything. I just did a full life audit. And it's not that I don't think I could do it. It's that I know for a fact that I can do it. I know I can do a lot, but I can't do a lot great. I can't do everything I want to do at the level that I would like to do it if I continued to wear all the hats that I was wearing. And to be honest with you, something had to give. And I wasn't willing to drop the hat of something that was building my future, building my family's future. I wasn't willing to take a step back on those things. I didn't quit on a bad day either. It wasn't like I did a workout and then decided to stop. This was a 2-week thing. It was a difficult decision to make. But part of me didn't want to let it go. And I think that, truth be told, it was an ego thing. It was a pride. It was a challenge. All the people around me are like, oh, I've been doing this for, what is it, 8 months now, 9 months now, a long time. And people around me, I'm like, well, I don't want to discredit myself. I don't want to be the guy that said he's going to do something and he doesn't do it. But then I go back to I think that's just an ego thing. Because truth be told, I really don't think anybody cares. Maybe it discredits me a little bit, and that's fine. If it does, I fully understand. I said I was going to do something, and now I decided I'm not going to do it, and I'm fully accepting that consequences of that. But I do believe that now that I've dropped that, and I know that now that I've dropped that, everything in my life is pretty much going to grow at a rate that I was expecting it to grow in the beginning when it just couldn't. I made the decision this weekend, and the past 3 nights have been the best night's sleep that I've gotten in a long time. Not because not because I'm doing anything different, but I truly believe that the weight of trying to stack the workouts, trying to do basically a part-time job on top of a full-time job and another full-time job, I the weight that I had on my shoulders is now off. So my sleep's a little bit better. I'm not beating myself up every night because I missed a workout. And I'm not getting home at 9 saying, oh crap, I got to run 3 miles or run 10 miles. It's not happening anymore. And I think that that's the reason why. And I'm going to be honest, there's still a version of me that hates that decision that I've made. There's still that version of me that's like, oh, you're a quitter. You said you were going to do something and you didn't do it. But I've realized I have to be okay with that. Because no matter what hat I dropped, I was going to have that. And I had to drop one. And like I mentioned, I wasn't willing to drop something that was building my future. So the Ironman was it. But with that being said, I want to talk about what that kind of taught me. What I've kind of learned over the past 5 days about dropping the Ironman. I don't think discipline I don't think discipline's just about doing hard things, doing things you don't want to do. For a long time, I thought that's what it was. I thought it was about choose hard, choose the hard thing. And to be honest, it is still part of that, but I think it's also about choosing the right hard things. We can wake up every morning at 5 a.m., go to the gym and beat our body, but maybe we do things, maybe we operate better at night. Maybe maybe instead of waking up at 5, we wake up at 6:30, 7 o'clock, and we go work all day and we do what we need to do throughout the day. And then at the end of the day, we're like, oh, I can settle down. I can go to the gym. I can get a good workout in. And you feel better doing that. So it's not about choosing the hard thing, it's about choosing the right hard thing. Now, working on the afternoon is still hard. Don't get me wrong. But if you have a better time or an easier time doing that and you can do it, then I think that's fine. I believe that that's okay. And that not quitting, but choosing not to do the Ironman is it's changed my opinion on it, truthfully. Changed my opinion on discipline. I think having the discipline to say no to the right things is also good. I think saying no to this has also grown out another leg of discipline that I didn't have before, and that is the ability to say no and the ability to sit back and recognize the fact that, hey, this isn't working for me and this isn't what I need to be doing, and I'm okay with the consequences of choosing not to do it. I'm okay with living with the people that are like, oh, he didn't do what he said he was going to do. I'm okay with the few that are going to be like that. I'm perfectly content with that now. And in the beginning of that, I wasn't. I always thought that I had to do exactly what I said every single time. But the truth is, sometimes things change. That's why I have a hard time setting 5 year goals, because over the next 5 years, my personality and my life, I'm in a season of change. I'm going to change exponentially. And if I set a 5 year goal now and I stick to that 5 year goal and I do everything in my power to get to that point, and then when I get there, I'm like, oh, wait, this isn't even my goal anymore. I could be doing more, or I could be doing something different. Maybe your goal was to sell 500,000 in GCI in 5 years and doing real estate. But then an opportunity comes across of you and you're not going to be in real estate anymore, and you're going to be in a completely different place that's got exponentially more growth, but you chose to stay in real estate because that was your 5 year goal and you missed out on $1 million GCI. I guess hopefully that makes sense. I know if you're not in real estate, it might not. So let's think of another way. Maybe your goal is to bench 225 in the next year. And then you decide, oh, wait, maybe I want to get into marathon running. The marathon running might be the one that built you out to a exponentially better person, but you're stuck in your ways saying, I got to bench 225 because that's what I told everybody I was going to do. See kind of the crossroads there? It was hard for me to sit back and look at that and analyze that in a way that made sense to me, because for the longest time I thought discipline was just about choosing what you were going to do and then going and doing it. But the truth is, things change. Time change. You change. Your personality changes. You might be in a completely different walk of life a year from now, and the goal that you had for 2 years is not going to be your goal anymore. And having the ability and the discipline to recognize that and to change your goal, I think that's part of it. That's as important, if not more important, than doing the hard thing. And along with that, I think the trap that we kind of fall into is trying to do everything. We spread ourselves so thin. We're trying to look busy, but we're not progressing. And that was kind of where I was falling into with the Ironman. I was looking really busy. I was feeling really busy, but I wasn't progressing at the rate of building my future that I would have liked to build. So I had to take it back. So I would rather go all in on a few things than be average at everything. I'm going to say that again. I would rather go all in on a few things than be average at everything. And I talked a little bit about this last week and over the past 14, 15 episodes. I can't tell you which one I'm on right now, but it's living with no regret. I don't regret that I decided not to do the Ironman. I'm not second guessing the decision that I've made not to do the Ironman, because once the decision is made, it's made. And I don't need everybody to understand it. And I don't think you need everybody to understand every decision you make, because once you make the decision, you made it. And it is what it is. Having the discipline to stick to the decision you make is, again, another leg of discipline that I just recently discovered. And I think it is as important, if not more important, than the discipline to do the hard things. So this wasn't this episode wasn't really about me announcing that I stopped the Ironman, that I decided I wasn't going to do it. This episode is about showing you that at some point you have to stop trying to prove something and start building something. And you have to revamp. You have to restart. You have to take a step back, take a hat off, and recognize, hey, this area of my life is not something that's going to improve me in the way that I want it to improve me. So you stop doing it. And you go all in on all the other things that you're passionate about. So, and I'm going to leave y'all with this. Every yes costs you something. More is not better. Better is better. And by that, I mean, if you have something in your life that you're doing right now, and maybe it's something that you were passionate about for a long time, and now you recognize that, hey, this isn't exactly this isn't doing what I thought it was going to do, or this isn't what I expected it to be. It's okay to take a step back and recognize that and do something different. It's okay to say no. And it's okay to say no and move on. But you got to move on. You can't make a decision and then dwell on it. You can't say, I'm not going to do this anymore and then not do anything, because you got to replace it with something. And for me, I didn't necessarily replace it with anything, but I took it off of my plate so I can go all in on the things that I'm passionate about. That is going to build the future that I want to create. But y'all have a good week. If you like the show, please share it. There'll be a link in the description for you to connect with me on all my socials and connect with me personally. So I look forward to hearing from you.